Unit 8, Lesson 2, Classification and Evaluation of Brainstorming Ideas. This is step 4 in the PBL process. In this lesson, we will look at how to approach classification, the tasks of each role in the classification stage, and a sample problem with brainstorming and classification completed. Just to give an overview of this step. Step 4 involves evaluating ideas and determining how they can be proved, or also examining how different ideas can be combined together to form a complete solution, integrating systems thinking. This again is a responsibility of the group of PBL learners. The discussion leader ensures that this process runs smoothly and remains relevant to the problem, practicing active conversation. There are different ways this can be approached. How to approach classification. Asking, are there any ideas which can be combined? Ideas may be classified according to different types of solutions. They're examining in terms of how they can be combined to provide a more robust or holistic solution, integrating systems thinking. Also, ideas which might be similar might be combined into one approach. For example, on the cash flow problem, reducing credit terms and increasing cash customers might be an idea which can be combined. Are there any ideas which need to be clarified or not fully understood? If so, a possible approach is expressing the idea in terms of an analogy to allow learners to explain and draw comparisons to explain the idea better. Evaluating ideas. This involves examining the feasibility of different ideas. It's important to do this in a positive manner. Ideas which are not feasible are discussed in the context of how they can be improved to make them feasible. To do this, the group examine what is good about the solution and what are the shortcomings or the improvements that need to be made. This is similar to a practice called synectics. Nolan emphasised that this approach maintained a positive and safe environment for idea generation, that the individuals feel that each idea will be considered, removing issues concerned with brainstorming. These ideas can then be developed into learning outcomes for future exploration. The inventor of the idea assumes responsibility for the learning outcomes associated with their idea. The tasks of each role. The team member highlights if there are any solutions that they don't understand and need to be clarified further. They can also identify what are the limitations of the ideas and suggest what can be done to improve certain ideas. The recorder identifies the main feasible solutions and summarises what needs to be considered to ensure that these solutions can be successfully implemented by minimising the limitations associated with these. The observer takes notes of how each person performed using the checklist outlined in Unit 2 as a guide. Here is a sample solution with the step 3 and 4 brainstorming classification done. For a cash flow problem, the brainstorming session might have classified ideas such as reducing credit sales, improving the credit terms from lending institutes, improving access to overdraft, marketing, increasing the marketing campaign or marketing efforts by the company, and increasing customer collaboration. So these might have been listed as ideas. So once they have listed, the group is responsible for looking at each of the ideas in terms of feasibility and can they be implemented. So in terms of reducing credit sales, the company might have looked at this and seen that the main reason for the company's success in attracting business customers, as you can remember, the majority of customers are business customers, and the reason for this might be that they have close relationships between sales representatives and the customers, and their credit terms offered to the business customers might be the reason why they chose to go with the company. And so it's not feasible idea, because if they reduce the credit terms or reduce credit sales and sales staff, it might lead to a reduction in the customers. They might look at how to improve credit terms from lending institutes, maybe getting a better interest rate or a better overdraft facility, or a larger amount of days to pay an overdraft. However, when you look at the economic climate, it mightn't be favourable. The bank mightn't be able to increase its credit terms more than it has done, and this avenue would have already been pursued. So they might decide as well maybe to market, try to increase sales, and to do this to market their products more effectively, particularly with domestic customers or cash customers. However, when they looked at the solution, they might find that increasing domestic customers takes a significant amount of marketing. The company has no marketing expertise, and consultants can be extremely expensive, and it's more of a long-term approach, and they might want a quick solution. So this leads us to the final idea: increasing customer collaboration. So working with customers to identify what types of products they need in order to reduce the amount of inventory that they're holding, and they're only holding enough that satisfies their customer sales. So they can look at this idea, and they found that the company has an excellent relationship with their business customers, and that if they collaborate with customers to forecast potential orders, it's a feasible solution, and this solution should be pursued. So that's just an example of the brainstorming and classification stages that were conducted as part of our sample problem. So in the next lesson, we're going to look at developing learning objectives.